Welcome to the first episode of my building school. Now, I've been doing these videos as part of Chamber of Iris for a while now, and I thought it would be good to get those in a separate series. So if you've missed the first few episodes, check out that series. They're the first, I think it's from 3 to 5, they're the building videos in that. Today I'm going to show you how to build the sphere that's the base for this, and you can apply it to anything, not just Pokeballs, but we're going to colour it like a Pokeball for the purposes of this video. So here we are in the sky on my Chamber of Iris test server. You might be able to see the Sky PvP arena over there and some sneak peeks of things to come across in the sides. But for now, this is your center point. This is where you start. This is where the whole build is built around. This will be for you in the floor, but for the purposes of showing you around everything, I'll put this up in the sky. H-Bomb's house in the Chamber of Iris is 12 block radius with 1 block in the center, so it's actually a 25 block circle that makes it up. So if we build out the cross for that, so we've got the bottom point here, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, that's the center point, so we'll mark out all the sides on that. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, and that's the top. So that's the central pillar with, I believe in his house, it's the ladders running from floor to ceiling. And then we take this point, we generate a circle around that middle point, which is a 25 diameter. And I've got a circle generator I use for this. Link is in the description. It's an online tool, and it is unbelievably useful. So we're going to bring this bottom part out 3. I'll just build one of the quarters, and then it's just a simple case of replicating it. So it comes out 3, moves up and in 1, out 2, in 1, out 2, and then it moves in 1 again, and we start switching the angle this time, so it goes 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and we're just going to copy it in the other direction. So it goes 1, 2, 2, and 3. There we go. Then we add 1 extra block on that and bring that into the center. And there you have it. That is one of the archways done. It's a simple case of just repeating this about 11 more times, I think. Just take it around the side and build up your quadrants. So we do another 1 to the other direction, 2, 2, and 3, and this one comes in. There we go, and then if you just build this bottom one up, and there you go. That is 1/4 of the sphere already done. It's pretty simple and quick to build up to this point. Once you've got your skeleton though, that's the main thing that you want to have done. So we're going to build this out, and I'll finish off the rest and cut back in when we've got our skeleton finished. And there you have it. That is the skeleton of your sphere completed. It's just 3 of those circles on each of the axes with a center point joined up to the edges. Once you've got that, you can start filling in the edges. Now there's a few ways that you can go about this. I tend to stick with the method of picking one of the center points of the edges, so one of these 6 center points, and filling in the circle around that, and then taking the next level up, working out this circle and filling that in. And I'll just show you the process of that. I'm going to use white stained glass on the bottom here because we're going to go for a Pokeball effect. And you just build that out, and I'm going to create the circle, which is a 3 radius, so it's actually a 7 diameter circle. And it's as simple as this, just building this out to there, and you notice, there we go, we've got our 7 diameter circle. So the next one out is an 11 diameter circle, and if we just build that out the same as we did on below, everywhere we have a block already, we don't need to put another one in, so we don't need to put these connection ones in. That will give us a nice inside. And we just continue this all the way around, making this pattern until we get to the halfway point. And then with that done, we can move on to the next circle. This one is a 15 one. I'm just counting from here all the way across to this point. So that's 15 blocks across, and we can build that one out. So it's 2 like that, 2. There we go, with that one completed. We're getting to the middle point of this arc now. So you notice if we were to replicate this onto that point just there, we'd have already filled in that one, and that one. We just have these 2 left. So we finish off our last ring from the bottom perspective. It's pretty simple, this one. Just bring it round like this. Everything's got a 2 side. And if you're wondering, this is a 17 wide circle that I'm creating here. Again, if you want to create these circles, you just enter the numbers that I'm saying into the circle generator that's linked in the description, and it will generate them for you. And then you just need to fill in the center points. If there's anything which is left a hole, you can fill that in. And then once we're at this point, we've reached our halfway point on this arc. So if we were to do this and follow this circle and follow it round, we'd end up with a really odd looking sphere. And I find it looks better to then stop focusing on this bottom part and start focusing on one of the sides. So we're going to do that. We're going to replicate everything we've done onto the bottom half of this side, and I'll come back when I finish that. And with all of that completed, you should be looking at something like this. You've got your arches here are starting to connect. You've got the edges have connected here, but they're both going off in separate directions, and you're left with this weird curved triangle shape in the middle of each of these sides. Now this is pretty easy to fill in. You can use one of two methods. For a sphere that's smaller than a certain size, like I'd say this is sort of a middling size. This is about the threshold, where any bigger than this, you want to use the circle method, but smaller than this and this side, it's fine to just get the edges and diagonal them off until the center point. So you take each of the sides and bring them in on the diagonal. Do that from the top as well. And bring that down, and then you've got one piece left in the center here, which you can simply just fill in with a single point there. And that looks pretty good on any sort of sphere which is quite small. If you're bigger than this size, so you're bigger than 25 blocks, I'd recommend the circle method. It's a bit more labor intensive, but you basically take, as if you were finishing off this archway facing in that direction. So you're taking, it's hard to describe, like in this axis, you're taking this line right here and building a circle around from that block up there to that block up there. And then you measure that out, so that should be how big would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so double it, add 1, and that should be a 19 radius circle. You work that out, and then you build that into the side, and you do that the same to the other direction, and the direction around the bottom. And any holes you fill in, and any overlaps, you try and break them. That method, of course, does require a lot more action on your part to work out what looks like a good curve and what doesn't, but that's a lot of just playing around, really. As I said though before, circles like this are fine just to go straight down and diagonal them off, just like this. And what you'll find is that the curves that you've already made will guide your diagonaling anyway to make it feel a bit more circular in its design when it's finished, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. And there we have it. That is one completed half of the sphere. I'm going to create the top in red, and I'm going to get rid of these supports in white, and we'll jump back to see how that looks. Right, so I've just hit the same point on the top part where we're just going to start filling in the edges, and as you can see, it started to take shape. We've got to decide on which side of these is going to be the front and how the black is going to intersperse through to make this line around the edge. But for now, we're just going to diagonal off these corners just the same as before. And then we'll get rid of those struts, and we should be good to go. And there we have it. All the supports have been taken out, all the sides have been diagonaled off. What is left is to make the button on the front. So for that, we're going to take out these 9 squares, are all going to be white. And then we just run our black glass around the edges. There we go, run that just around the edge like this. And although this resolution doesn't allow for a proper circle at this point, I think it looks good just all the same. And there we have it. That is one completed Pokeball. You may want to take some hinges around the backs with some grey stained glass and put some extra slots in there for hinges like I did on H-Bomb's house. But that is the principles of building a sphere nonetheless. And you can take those principles and build any size sphere you want to. Anything smaller than about 7 probably isn't going to look right. But of course, the bigger you go with this, the more impressive it's going to look. So don't forget to leave a like and share this around with all your friends if you want to show them how to build spheres as well, because maybe their building techniques just aren't quite there yet. Next time we're going to tackle some other building principles. I don't quite know what yet, but if you want to leave suggestions, you can leave them down in the comments and I'll see what I can do as a tutorial for you. Okay, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for listening and tuning in. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and I will see you all in the next video.